Hello there, Lunar Squadron, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our episodic breakdown series. If you guys have been with the channel, you know the drill by now. We've gone through episodes 1 through 6, breaking down all of the gameplay that we've seen to date in each of those episodes, either using the storyboard that was provided by TT Games in the Developer Diary trailer, or creating our own speculative storyboards. Today we are going to be going through all of the Episode 7, The Force Awakens gameplay, and presenting our speculative storyboard for this game. As you guys know, this is the only episode that has received its own LEGO Star Wars game in the past, so what exactly is Episode 7 going to do to differentiate itself from its prior rendition and help it excel in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga? All of that and more coming up, but first, a brief message from Nick.
First, if you are new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that is just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It will notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. Also, if you have not yet joined our official Discord server, what are you doing? Come get involved in our Discord server. There are so many great people who are waiting to meet you. It is a great way for you to get to know us. It's a great way for us to get to know you better. We honestly have so much fun in our Discord server, so you should definitely consider joining. The link to join it will be down below in the description. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the sequel trilogy and talk about all things Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
This is Lunar Squadron standing by. We are ready to make the jump to hyperspace. On my mark, Lunar Squadron.
If you are new to the episodic breakdown series here at Lunar Squadron, I'm just going to go over it very quickly before we get into this one. This time around, we scoured through every single trailer looking for all things The Force Awakens. We compiled all of that footage into one The Force Awakens supercut, which is this time around about 1 minute and 20 seconds from all of the 8 trailers that we've received so far. And we drew up a storyboard based on our analysis of that super cut. So this is what our storyboard does look like. We are going to go ahead and talk through which levels we think are going to be pre-levels, which ones we think are going to be main levels, all based on the gameplay that we've seen so far, and we're going to talk about what you can expect out of The Force Awakens in this game. Of course, I do want to clarify, this is 100% speculation, guys. This is, of course, based on what we know so far, but this is not an official list. Nick and I put this together as sort of a fun exercise to drum up hype about this game, because we are so very excited about it and cannot wait to play through The Force Awakens and see how it is redrawn in the Skywalker Saga, which will undoubtedly be the best LEGO Star Wars game to date. Hell, it might even be the best Star Wars game to date. Anyway, we are going to start off in The Force Awakens in the Tuanal village on Jakku with this main intro you guys have already seen. It is the First Order transport carrier landing on Jakku in the Tuanal village. This is the only time that we've seen Jakku at night. And then we think that it is going to pick up immediately with a pre-level. You are going to be playing as Poe Dameron and BB-8 as you are going to be talking to Lor San Tekka and mowing through stormtroopers as they are raiding the Tuanal village. Now, when you look at this clip, you can actually see a main mission marker all the way in the background, and what that lets us know is that we are going to be going straight into our first main mission from this segment, aren't we, Nick?
Yep, we sure are, and our first main level in Episode 7 is actually Steadfast Escape. Now, we actually believe we have seen some footage of this exact main level. If you think back to that footage of Poe running through the hallways of the Resurgent Class Star Destroyer with his hands bound, and then we also see the footage of him fighting in the hangar. We believe this is all going to be a part of this main level. If you've seen Episode 7, you know this is the sequence where Poe is broken out of the Star Destroyer and then subsequently returns back to Jakku, which then, Andreas, we're going back to Jakku, so we have some pre-levels on Jakku to take care of, don't we?
That's right, Nick. We are going to be making our way back to Jakku. Now, we have seen this cutscene here of Rey and BB-8. She is at the Starship Graveyard on Jakku, and then we have seen her traveling throughout Jakku, so that does lead me to believe that you will start off at that Starship Graveyard, and then you will have to travel down to Nima Outpost, where you are going to then have to receive your portions for what you have collected out at the Starship Graveyard. So I do think that the next pre-level will be Jakku Nima Outpost. I think you are going to be chilling around and exploring Nima Outpost until you do eventually bump into Finn, which is where this grand adventure is going to take off. You are going to be battling the First Order, finding your way to the Millennium Falcon, and ultimately you are going to be making your way off of Jakku. We did see this cutscene of the Millennium Falcon clearly from The Force Awakens, and I think this is going to lead us into our next main level, which I do think is going to be the Rathtar Rumble. Right, Nick?
Yep, we sure do. We actually have seen a very brief, and when I say brief, very brief snippet of this sequence in The Force Awakens of them running away from the Rathtar, and to us, this really seems like the perfect on-the-rails experience for a main level in The Force Awakens. It just makes a ton of sense. Now, afterwards, after you are able to get away from the Eravana with Han Solo and Chewbacca in the Millennium Falcon, we actually believe this would now be a perfect time for one of those midtros, and the midtro that we are imagining here, since this is kind of a downtime in the film overall, is when the It's True, All of It, where Han kind of reveals everything that Finn and Rey have been wondering about, the legends of the galaxy, the Force, the Jedi, all of it. And we actually think this will be also covering the arrival on Takodana, which will then take us into our third sequence of The Force Awakens, that being the pre-levels on Takodana, right, Andreas?
That's right, Nick. I think these are going to be separated into two pre-levels, the first of which we've actually seen quite an extensive look at. We've seen several shots from around on top of Maz's castle. I think you are going to be given the opportunity to explore all around Maz's castle. We've seen that you're able to climb all the way to the top of the castle, and so I do think that you will be given the opportunity to do that as soon as you do land on Takodana, and then eventually you are going to be making your way inside of Maz's castle, where you will be able to explore all throughout the castle, or at least I hope so. And then we've actually seen one shot from within Maz's castle, and we do think that this is going to be part of that next pre-level there, and this will all kind of build up towards the next main level in this game, which is the third level, which we think will be the Battle of Takodana. I think this one is going to be two parts. I think there's going to be a ground part to it, and then there's also going to be an air part to it, where you are going to have to use the Resistance X-Wings, maybe even Poe Dameron's X-Wing, to fend off the First Order and their imminent invasion on Takodana.
Now, next up, we actually have another midtro. That's right, we actually believe The Force Awakens might contain two midtros in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, just because we think this next information would best be served by a series of cutscenes rather than pre-levels or main levels. Now, we think this midtro sequence will actually cover Leia's arrival on Takodana, the reunion between Leia and Han, which we have seen in a cutscene, and then the whole Resistance arriving back on Dakar at the Resistance base, where we will also see Finn and Poe's reunion, where they will go talk to General Leia about this big issue they have, that being Rey being kidnapped by Kylo and them needing to get to Starkiller Base. That will then take us into our fourth segment of The Force Awakens in this game, and we actually have two pre-levels for this segment, the first one being on the Dakar Resistance base, where we think you will be preparing for battle on Starkiller Base, where you will be trying to take down Starkiller Base before it can destroy more systems. We do think this is where you will be, gathering resources and all of that stuff to get ready for battle. I know that doesn't sound like a ton of fun for those of you who have played LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. And then we actually think the next pre-level will be on Starkiller Base, where Han and Finn will infiltrate the base and try to save Rey. We believe we've actually seen footage of this pre-level where you can see Han using his scoundrel ability to destroy the bridge. And then, Andreas, that will all take us into our fourth main mission, which we actually believe will again be another two-parter, don't we?
That we do. We think that The fourth level of this game will be another two-parter. The first being the ground setup for this movie, that being Han Solo and Chewbacca laying those charges, the confrontation between Kylo Ren and Han Solo on that catwalk. We all know it. It's that iconic scene. I think that you are going to expect to play through that in this game. And I think that will transition into something that we have actually seen in the trailers, that being the battle over the thermal oscillator, where you are going to give it everything you've got as Poe Dameron and the Resistance, ultimately getting revenge for them taking away some key systems in the universe that we all really cared about, just like, the Hosnian system, because we all had great memories about the Hosnian system. And then we are going to face our final level in this game, one that I think is worthy of a finale, right, Nick?
Yep, we sure do. We actually don't think there will be any other pre-levels after the conclusion of the second part of the fourth main level. We think we are jumping right into the fifth and final level, just like we do in episode 1. And this time, the Force is awakening because Kylo is facing off versus Rey in the forests of Starkiller Base. We believe this is the perfect conclusion to The Force Awakens in this game. It is the ultimate culmination of the Force Awakens film, and it just has to be a main level in this game. So we do believe that this confrontation, Kylo versus Rey, will be the fifth and final main level in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga for The Force Awakens, and then that will then take us into our main outro, where we believe the whole final portion of this film will be covered, that being back on the Resistance base on Dakar, where R2 actually finally wakes up and reveals the map. We have seen a cutscene of that, and then Rey ultimately traveling to Ahch-To to meet, finally, the legend Luke Skywalker himself and return his saber to him before we all slam to black and the credits roll in The Force Awakens. So there you have it. There is our hypothetical storyboard for The Force Awakens in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We went over all of our hypothetical pre-levels and levels. Reminder, this is just our list. We might be wrong, we might be right, but it is our list and we do love it. But we would love to hear your lists down below, because at this point, it is all pure speculation until the game releases on April 5th, so nobody really knows for sure, but definitely let us know your list down below. We love reading through all of those comments, and let us know the moment of The Force Awakens you are most excited to play in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.